Hello. Today is all about raising assertive children. Children who are bold, who are self-confident, who take a no, who initiate conversations, who understand boundaries, respect their boundaries, respect other people's boundaries, who demand that their boundaries are respected. Children who do not give into peer pressure. Children who go for what they want. They know what they want and they have the right words to actually go for what they want. Today is all about raising those children we really want to have. Every parent desires to have an assertive child. Every parent desires to have a bold and confident child. Hey, I always say to parents, it's not just about wishing it. It doesn't just fall on you from the sky. Yes, and today is all about learning what we can do right in our parenting to have our children become assertive. Welcome to Parenting with Enemy Orebo, and my name is Enemy Orebo. In this channel, what we do here is talk parenting. We come here to get equipped on how to raise our children in these crazy times. So if you are new here, I say a big welcome to you. If you are returning, I say thank you very much. I appreciate you. You are why this channel is still going on. I'd like to do me a favor, whether you are new or returning, I want you to share. I want you to leave a comment and I want you to ask your questions in the comment section. And if you are new here, I want you to subscribe to this channel and probably turn on your notification button so that you always get our videos when they are uploaded. And if you haven't checked our previous videos rather, please do. We have amazing master classes here. This channel is highly empowering. Don't take my word for it. Just go back to the channel and learn and see what we have in stock for you. Welcome back. So the first thing I want to talk about is that many people, very many people, do not know the difference between assertiveness and rudeness. For very many people, assertive children come across as rude to them. Now, a lot of them is you, your traumas, your temperament, a lot of factors that make you judge children wrongly. So one of the very first things you want to do as a parent who desires to raise an assertive child is to understand the line between assertiveness and rudeness. Because I always say that I have never met a parent who doesn't desire good for the child, but I have met very many parents whose choices don't align with what they desire. So if you want to raise an assertive child and you see your child's assertiveness as rudeness, it simply means that even though you desire to raise an assertive child, you are not going to raise an assertive child because you are going to sabotage yourself. So the very first thing you want to know, you want to understand the difference between assertiveness and rudeness. Let's start with who an assertive child is. An assertive child is a child who is able to express his needs and desires, who wants something and they are able to say it, they don't keep quiet, who is thirsty in a place and is able to say, oh, can I get some water? That is an assertive child. An assertive child is a child who goes out. Let's say he goes for an event, a party, and the mates are being given party packs or something, and he's not getting to the child's turn. The child goes to meet the person sharing it and say, hey, you shared these things and it didn't get to me. That is an assertive child. I'm using this example because I used to be a parent who would say, if it doesn't get to you when we are going, you will buy. I'll replace it for you, or it doesn't matter. Nah. When I decided that I want to raise assertive children, I decided to look at for those things that were sabotaging my desire to raise assertive children. And I realized that, you see, that particular thing was one of them. So my kids, when I go out now with my kids, I make sure that, hey, they go for what they want. Yes, respectfully. So let me share the story. So a friend took her son to the salon to get his hair cut. So there was a queue there and the boy was waiting. He waited for a while, and when he eventually got to his turn, as he was able to stand up to go and take the barber's chair, and a much older man came in and sat down. Guess what? Young chap. How old was he? I don't remember, but he was pretty young, says 7 to 9. He went and told them, excuse me, sir, it's my turn. You know, the man gave him the kind of side eye and he said, I've been waiting here for a while. It's my turn to cut my hair. You know, that is assertiveness. He said it politely, excuse me, sir. Like, that is assertiveness. Now, at the introduction, I said very many parents very many adults mistake assertiveness for rudeness. And guess what? Just as expected, people thought, oh, he was rude. How dare you come and meet this much older man? No, the child was only demanding for his rights. That is assertiveness. I will share 9 things about assertive children. So I've shared one already. Assertive child is a child that boldly gives a no. It's not convenient for him. It's not comfortable for him. He is going to say N-O, no. Yes, that's an assertive child. He wants to share his story. We always teach our children to share. Of course, we teach them. But frankly, there are so many things they don't want to share. Even you as an adult, you have things you don't want to share. It's not everything you want to share, right? So when someone wants those things you don't want to share, what do? You say no. So your child has things that he or she doesn't want to share. And being assertive is being able to say, no, I do not want to share. No, I do not want to do this. Come with me to this place. No. That is an assertive child, a child who can say no when it has to be a no. An assertive child is a child who can stand up for himself, herself. That is an assertive child. I don't like what you are doing. I don't want this. That is an assertive child. They understand their boundaries and they understand when people are encroaching or trespassing and they stand up. You are using my item without my permission. I don't like it. When you want to use my item, ask for my permission. And if you don't ask for my permission, don't use my item. That is an assertive child. You pushed me. No, I don't like being pushed. Don't push me next time. That is an assertive child. No, I do not want to give you my item. So you don't have a right to snatch it from me. That is an assertive child. You are using my item. Give it back to me. I do not want. That is an assertive child. An assertive child is able to stand up for himself, herself, anytime. An assertive child can handle peer pressure. They know they don't have to do everything their friends are doing because their friends may not always be right and their friends may not even have the best of motives. Even if their friends have it, they know that they don't have the same values. They may not have the same interests. They know their boundaries. They know what they want and they go for what they want. And if what they want is not what their friends want, an assertive child knows that, hey, I can handle peer pressure. I'm not going to be bullied. I'm not going to be forced to do what I don't want to do. I have a right. I can choose what I want to choose. I can choose what I want to do. And I know where to stop. That is an assertive child. They can handle peer pressure. They don't let friends force them to do what they don't want to do. And they don't follow friends blindly. That is an assertive child. Assertive children are not aggressive. Yes, they can take criticism. They can also take a no. They can take rejections when things don't go their way or people criticize them. They have the right ways to actually respond to them without having to go into aggressive mode. So assertive children can handle criticism. They can take care of themselves. They know that things don't always go their way and they know that aggression is never a solution. Assertive children can initiate conversations, can initiate relationships, and they can maintain healthy relationships. They are not afraid to go and meet the new girl or meet the new boy to say, hey, hello, I'd like to be your friend. My name is XYZ. They are not afraid of that. Remember, they go for what they want. They see someone, they watch the person, and they think, okay, the person has my interest, kind of interest, our values kind of align in a way. They boldly go out to make friends. They are not the ones who sit back and wait for friends to come and make them. We always teach our children, choose your friends and not the other way around. So an assertive child can go for that or go forward to choose his or her friend. An assertive child has boundaries. Yes, they are not random. Not everything goes. They know what they want, how they want it, and they maintain that boundary. And they also respect people's boundaries because they know they have boundaries. Other people have boundaries too. So an assertive child has boundaries and they respect that boundaries. And an assertive child is respectful. Everything I've talked about that they do them respectfully. They know their 5 magic words. They know their please, excuse me, thank you, I'm sorry, pardon, and all of that. They know their 5 magic words and they use them. They respect people. They respect people younger than them. They respect people older than them. They respect everyone. An assertive child knows how to express their emotions. Yes, they don't hide it. They don't pretend. They have emotions. They understand that emotions are valid. Emotions are a major part of human beings, and they express their emotions freely. An assertive child is angry, and he can say, I am angry. An assertive child has fear, is afraid of a situation, can say, I am afraid. They are not afraid to show their emotions. They don't pretend they are brave when they're actually scared. They don't hide their emotions. They don't swallow their emotions. They express their emotions because it's normal, it's healthy. They are human beings. So assertive children boldly express their emotions. Having known who an assertive child is, let's talk about how to raise our children to be assertive, to stand up for themselves, to be bold, to be expressive, to go for what they want, to give a no when it has to be a no. Now, before then, again, if you are new here, I say welcome to Parenting with Enimie Orebo. Do well to subscribe and share. It's important that you share the link, please, on your statuses, on your stories. Share the link. Invite very many people you know, everyone you know, every parent you know, your school, your children's school platform, your church platform where you have parents. Please invite all of them. Let's learn and grow together. The world we are is crazy, and everyone needs knowledge to parent. We all need knowledge to parent in this time we are. And very many parents do not know that there is something like this existing. So you're actually saving a generation. You are doing well. You are being kind to them by sharing this with them. So please share, and share. Thank you very much. So we are going into how to raise our children to be assertive. Now, the first thing I want you to do is go back to, you may want to rewind, or if you are writing down, you want to go back to your list and note those things, those traits assertive children have that I just described. Let's start with self-esteem. A child with healthy self-esteem values himself, values herself, knows that their opinions count. And yes, they can defend what they stand for and what they represent. They are bold, they are confident. So if you want to raise a child who is assertive, one of the first things you want to do is to focus on your child's self-esteem. Raising the child with healthy self-esteem. And in this channel, we are going to also deal with how to raise our children to have healthy self-esteem. One of the reasons you need to come back here, you need to subscribe and turn on your notification button so that when we upload that video, you will be the first to see it. I have 3 different ways I recommend that parents teach their children whatever they want their children to learn or build skills in their children. And I have teaching, I have modeling, and of course I have practice opportunity. Now this is the major one, practice opportunity. Very many parents teach, they struggle to model. When it comes to practice opportunities, they don't even realize it. So one of the very first things you want to do is to teach your child. Like one of the things I say to my children is, if you're not comfortable with anything, what do? You give a no, a firm no. And if you have any questions, if you are not clear, if you are confused, ask questions. That is like teaching them to be assertive. Yes. In situations, stand up for yourself. When someone comes like this, someone does this to you, you don't like it, see what you are going to say. You tell them about assertiveness. Tell them why it's important, and you help them create boundaries. Let them understand boundaries. When your child understands boundaries, there are boundaries and people's boundaries, and they have healthy self-esteem, it's easy for them to protect their boundaries. So you want to talk to them about boundaries. Some children don't even know when someone is encroaching into their boundaries because they are very permissive. So your child has to understand what boundaries are. So the very first thing you want to do is to teach, like you are teaching any other thing. You tell them about why it is important for them to be assertive. I always say to children, my children are teaching in school that if you give in to bullying, for example, you're in a classroom and someone is always picking on you and you don't say anything, what happens is it's easy for other people to also come and pick on you. It's not rocket science. It's just what it is. You know, imagine you are in the class and there's a queen bee in the class who comes and says, okay, you go and get me something. You go and get me something. Every time the queen bee asks you to go and get her something, when she's not doing anything, she's not incapacitated, you run off to get the item for the queen bee. Before you know what is happening, everyone else in the class is also using you to run their errands. That is what happens when you are not assertive. So you actually want to let them know. And what happens again is, even when you are not comfortable with it, you are not able to say no. You won't take it. So you are being permissive. So the very first thing you want to do, you want to talk to your child about assertiveness. You know, there is a way you behave assertively, there's an aggressive behavior, there is a permissive behavior, and there's a manipulative behavior. When I teach my children about assertiveness, I make sure I touch these three types of reactions or responses or behaviors. I tell them aggressive behavior is when you are angry and reactive. Yes, an assertive child is a child who is able to express his or her emotions appropriately. An assertive child can be angry. Of course, it's valid. Anger is a valid emotion, but they are not going to go violent with their anger. They are going to express it appropriately. So I talk to them about aggression. I talk to them about manipulation. I give them this. You have a book with you, and a friend of yours comes forward to say, okay, can I borrow your book? And instead of you to say no, you tell your friend, oh, it's for my sister. Your friend says, okay. And then maybe your friend has access to your sister, and she goes to your sister and asks your sister if she can borrow the book. Your sister tells your friend, it's not my book, it's actually not my book, it's my sister's book. That is your book. What do you think will happen? Yes, your friend may come back to you, and maybe your friend may come back to you and want to use it against you, you know, and sometimes you don't have a choice than to give in. And then your friend may even start picking on that. You are a liar, you are always lying, you are a coward, you couldn't tell me it's not your book, you couldn't tell me it's your book, you don't want to give, or you are selfish, you will not be my friend again, you know, things like that. They may not want to use it against you. That is, you are being manipulative. So what do you want to do? This is where you are being assertive. You stand up and say, it's my book, I want to use it, I'm not done using it, or I don't want to share it. It's my treasured possession and that I do not want to share. So talking about permissiveness also, maybe you don't want to share, you don't feel like sharing, but because you don't want to say no, you give it to your friend. You are not happy about it. And once your friend knows that, okay, even when you are not happy or you don't want to do it, you do it anyways because you are afraid of standing up for yourself, then they are always going to take advantage of you. And guess what? Your friends may now lure you into doing things that you don't want to do, things that are bad. We've heard stories of children who follow their friends to where their parents have warned them not to go. They just follow their friends, peer influence, peer pressure, because they cannot say no, they cannot stand up for themselves, so they just follow their friends. And that is not you. You don't want to be that. So you need to learn to be assertive. You need to learn to stand up for yourself. Whatever you believe in, defend what you believe in. So you want to have this conversation with your child about assertiveness. Another thing you want to do, you want to give them practical situations, practical scenarios where assertiveness is required of them. For example, we want to talk to them a bit about sexual abuse, how groomers come forward to groom their victims, how they can maintain their boundaries, or how they can be assertive. You want to talk about that. You want to talk about when they have something they don't want to share, how they can be assertive in those situations. You want to talk about how when they need something from people, how they can step forward, make eye contact, open their mouth and speak audibly for what they want. You want to teach them about that. You want to teach them things about when they are angry, how they can okay, it's good to be angry, how they can express themselves, express their emotions and all of that. You just want to look for situations, and every day we have events that actually make these things come to play. So you want to help your child identify these events that happen every day where assertiveness is required of them, and you want to teach them how to respond to them. And if you want to role play, yes, feel free, role play it with them. Role play it. One of the ways I teach assertiveness in the classroom is role play. I have a book on assertiveness. It's in e-copy now for children. It's for children. It's going to be in hard copy soon, hopefully before the end of the year. We have a lot of role plays there when this situation happens, what are you going to do? You're going to do like this, you're going to stand up, make eye contact, and use this particular language, use these lines. That is one of the things you want to do. Teach your children, run them through a lesson on assertiveness, then go to YouTube, get videos on assertiveness of children, how children respond assertively to situations, have them go over them over and over and over and over again. Especially when you have children who are not very assertive. Now remember, every child is not the same. There are some children who kind of have boldness and self-confidence from start. That's how they are wired because of their temperament. There are some that they struggle so much, they can't make eye contact, they can't open their mouth to talk. Those ones, they can't warm up to friends and things like that. Those ones you want to not take an aggressive approach, teach them about it, then expose them to videos, series of videos on assertiveness. It is going to help them. The next thing you want to do as a parent is model it. You want to raise children who are assertive, you need to model it. Are you assertive in your dealings? I remember one time I talked about assertiveness and I gave practical examples, and parents were like, I never thought of this, I never thought of it this way. One of the things I always say is that whether you are teaching your child or not, deliberately, your child is learning. Whether you say, okay, I want to teach my child to be permissive, or I don't want to teach him to be permissive. As long as you are permissive, your child is learning from you. Didn't they say children learn from us? Children they soak up what the environment offers or brings. So your child is constantly learning from you. So what you want to do is you want to up your assertiveness game as a parent. You want to be more assertive. You want to be more confident. You want to demand for respect as a parent. You don't want to just let anything and everything go. You are not a dumping ground. You have you have boundaries, and you actually want to maintain boundaries with people. That is something you want to do as a parent. You want to learn how to be assertive, how to express yourself as a parent assertively, how to give a firm no. Yes, there are situations where you don't want to say, you don't want to give a yes, and your hands shouldn't be tied really when your children are watching. I have a family friend who comes around all the time. There's something about him I'm not quite comfortable with. Each time he comes, he's talking about someone, he says, that idiot, stupid man. I always tell him, no, I don't like it. Each time he repeats it, I tell him a big no about it. I say it politely, no, it's not acceptable in my house. So your child sees you that what you don't like, you don't like. What you don't want, you don't want it. It's not the one that, okay, you don't want it, and when the person leaves, you start complaining. No, you are teaching your children to be permissive. What you don't like, no matter who the person is, give a firm no. Your kids are there, they are watching you. They are watching you, and it's a no for you. It's a no for you. Model assertiveness to your children. They are always watching you. They are always watching you. Look for situations you are not comfortable with. Take a deep breath, pause. If they are there, ask yourself, am I comfortable with this thing? I'm not comfortable with this thing. Is this something I will say yes to? Then when I leave here, I'll start complaining. Maybe I want to buy something, I don't like it. Then I will get home, I'll start complaining. You don't have to. They are watching you. You respond to the person, no, I don't want this. You have boundaries, I don't want this. That is assertiveness. Boldly, be bold as a parent, be self-confident, have boundaries, and defend your boundaries anytime. That is how you model it to your children. You just don't accept everything. A common one in this part of the world is in Nigeria, in this part of the world is ashebi. People just come and give you ashebi. You don't want to buy it. It's not convenient for you. You have no business buying it, and or you feel, it's unrealistically expensive. You don't want it. It's an opportunity for you to tell the person, no, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. If you feel, okay, I want to support this person, you actually buy it. But if that is not the way, you don't buy it and you go behind the person's back and you start complaining. Your kids are there. You are permissive. You are modeling permissiveness, because what you actually don't want, you are taking it. After taking it, you go behind them. You go behind the person where your kids are, and you start complaining. You are not teaching them to have boundaries, to maintain their boundaries, to be assertive. You are not teaching them. So you need to know what you don't want and say a big no to it. Now, this is one way you model assertiveness to your children. Now, let's talk about practice opportunity. I always say that we always have opportunities to actually have our children learn practice, learn, and internalize what we want them to know. But for very many parents, we don't identify these opportunities. For many parents, we are not emotionally intelligent. Now, this is why, as a parent, as a visionary parent, like I say it every time, you need to work on your emotions. You need to work on your emotions. And I want to appeal to you to come join us in the Visionary Parent Academy, because one of the first things you do there is to work on your emotions. That's the number 2 thing we do. Work on your emotions. You create your vision, you work on your emotions, and then you create your parenting framework. If you don't work on your emotions, you are not able to align your choices with your vision at the end of the day. You want to raise your assertive children, you are not able to pause and breathe and identify a moment for your child to practice assertiveness. We always, we come with a lot of traumas, a lot of baggages. So we always believe, oh, children are rude. Oh, how dare you talk back at me? How dare you say these things? How dare you disobey me or something like that? We do not realize that, hey, if your child says no to you, is an opportunity for you to actually pause and reflect. Okay, is she being assertive right now? Or is she being rude right now? Or something? One of the things we do in our emotions control class is you will get an accountability partner. Not we, you get yourself an accountability partner in the time you are working yourself through the emotions control. And let me tell you what it does in a practical situation. I remember one time I wanted to do something. I wanted to make a video recording with my kids, and I called my kids and I told them that I wanted to do a video recording. And my daughter stopped and asked me, "Mommy, how long is it going to take? Are my lines going to be long? Do I need to memorize some lines? Are they going to be long? Am I going to change my clothes, or am I going to wear one cloth?" All the questions I was just like, what kind of journalistic interrogation is this one subjecting me to? Come and do video with me, you ask me very many questions. So I just paused. And so she waited for a while and she left. So it was when she left, my husband told me that, you're always teaching these children to always stand up for themselves. When they do not understand, they should ask questions. When they are not sure, they should say no. She is just doing that. And you are getting upset. I realized, yes, this is what I'm teaching. I was going to deny her a practice opportunity. This is what I'm talking about. As a parent, you must give your child a practice opportunity. In our emotions control class now, this is where we have you getting an accountability partner to always remind you when you're actually going away from your goal. So practice opportunity is very important. So the way to get into it is to work on your emotions, is to learn to pause, breathe, and reflect on what is about to happen or what just happened. Reflect on it. Ask yourself, okay, is this it? What am I teaching from it? What is my child learning? What impression am I giving my child? Before you respond to your child, you respond to anyone around you, respond to any event in the presence of your child, you must pause and ask yourself, what impression am I giving my child? What am I modeling to my child? What is my child learning from this event or from this situation? You must ask yourself, and you ask yourself, ultimately, does it align with my value? Will it lead to the child I have in my vision? The things you want to ask yourself. So again, you want your child to be assertive. You are the fields they have to practice. You are their experiments, because you are the major person in their life. They are familiar with you and their siblings. And if they have cousins around, if you have other adults around, you are the ones they are going to practice with. So if you don't avail yourself, then you are going to sabotage your vision, what you actually want. So your child should be able to give you a no. Yes. Your child should be able to give you a no as a parent, because you want them to learn to give no's outside. So they should be able to give you a no. I tell my children that you ask questions. I tell them that you open your mouth to speak. I tell them that if you are not comfortable, whether with what I'm doing, with what your dad is doing, say no. For example, my daughter doesn't like to eat anything that you eat with your fingers and you just, like eba, semo and all of that, what would generally cause swallow, I used to like force her to eat it in those days. But when I realized my journey into assertiveness, how important it was, I decided to let her. You don't want to eat it, I don't force you, because you are giving me a no. So if you are giving me a no and I want you to be able to take give a no outside, I should actually make myself a practice opportunity for you. So when she gives me a no, then we have to let it go. It is. So that is the thing. You are your child's first practice opportunity, please. And your child is angry. Something happens. Don't ask them to swallow their emotions. No, let them express themselves. Your child needs something. They should be able to come to you boldly, and ask you what they want. You are their practice opportunity. Teach them how to ask for something in polite manners, in polite ways. Teach them. You do this. This is how you ask for something. And when they come forward to ask you, then respect them. Because if you don't respect them, if you don't oblige them, if you don't bring yourself as a practice opportunity for them, then they are not going to learn it. They are not going to internalize it. And they are not going to be able to be assertive outside. So if you truly want them to be assertive outside, then you need to provide yourself as a practice opportunity for them. So what I want to leave you with now is for you to go back and look at all your parenting, your interaction with your child, your actions generally. Now look at that. Then go and look at the trait of assertive children. Then ask yourself, how do I teach these things? How do I model these things? And how do I create a practice environment for these skills to grow in them? Look at them, identify them. They are always in our everyday behaviors. They are always in our everyday interaction with our children. Look at them, identify them, and begin to give them the opportunity to practice it. And if you are a visionary parent in the academy, you are going to have an action guide as usual to help you raise children who are bold, who are assertive, and who can stand up for what they want. Now, this is why you need to hurry up and join the academy. For what you are going to gain from there, from what you are going to get from the academy, I tell you, it is a steal. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Enimio Rebo, and this is Parenting with Enimio Rebo. If you have not subscribed, subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment. And come back next time for more empowering videos and information. Bye for now.